Hello, happy Saturday of Easter weekend. I'm here to send out some positive vibes, get you reveling in the gifts that are all around you right this instant. Whether it's sunshine, whether it's the ease of, we don't have to be anywhere, we don't have to do anything except be. That's an incredible gift. That's an incredible gift. We are on our 21-day quest, and we only have actually a few days left. I was thinking it was a little bit longer, but it's up through April 14th, so we're making our way there. I want to say a quick and happy birthday out to McKenna's dad, Ken Moonen. Happy birthday, Ken. I know it's a tough time. I just had my birthday last week, and it's an unusual time for anyone celebrating birthdays. It's an unusual time for all of us. Very quiet birthday this year. But I guess part of what I want to share today is that we touched upon yesterday forgiveness and the power of forgiveness and what it can do for you for your well-being. And I think one of the greatest acts of forgiveness that you can do for yourself and for your ex, your spouse, your ex-spouse, it's the greatest act of forgiveness that you can do for the sake of your child or children. They have 50% of you and 50% of their dad or their mom in them. They make up the both of you. And when there is conflict, and there is not ebb and flow, and there's real conflict and real anger and resentment and lack of forgiveness, that child or children cannot find stasis. They cannot find peace within themselves because those two parties, those two factions within themselves are warring. So it's not an easy thing. Probably one of the more challenging things. Yesterday I said, can you forgive the president? And I said, well, maybe that's, or the government or your politicians, maybe that's too big a thing to forgive. Maybe start smaller, like with the gentleman who cut you off in the grocery store line. Or the person at the credit card company that you're trying to, forbear your payments with, and they're short because they're stressed out. Can you forgive that person? Start with the small forgiveness and work up to the bigger ones, I guess. But we're part of our 21-day quest is reviewing and reflecting and adapting as we're able to the 5 tools for blooming, like wearing a tool belt, your blooming tool belt. And one of those is, you'll see actually on my wrists today, they represent, these are prayer and energy bracelets. I've had them for a very long time. And one represents the yang energy, the very active masculine energy. And then one represents the yin energy, which is a very calming feminine energy. And they reflect the contrast, the yin and the yang, the ebb and the flow of energy. And we are very much being forced into right now this yin energy. Soft, relaxed power that is at ease with itself, that it can just be. It doesn't have to force anything. It doesn't have to coerce. It doesn't have to manipulate. It doesn't have to wedge or leverage. It just is, and it's beautiful. So I want to, one of the things is active appreciation. What aspects of appreciation can you share with yourself and with those around you today? The act of appreciation changes everything. It's that little ripple in the pond. The next tool that we've been talking about is meditation. Can you spend 5 minutes and work your way towards 15 or 20 minutes with yourself and just your breath, you and your breath? Breathing in and breathing out. Use the Calm app. Download that if that works for you. If you're having a guided meditation for getting started, or if you want some diversity, the Calm app is excellent for that. And I've had some other good recommendations as well throughout this time with everybody. And thank you for sending those along. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sticking with me for these 21 days. Why 21 days? Because 21 days rewires your brain. It takes what you're doing, the habit you're creating, and it takes it from short-term to long-term memory. That's what happens in the brain after 21 days. And if you break the pattern, you start the 21 days over. If you skip a day, you start the 21 days over. So we are together every day up through April 14th, so thank you. And I want to talk about the third tool right now, and that tool is writing. And I've gotten really great positive comments and questions and emails and texts about meditation, actually. Like, how do I set up my space? What music do I listen to? What happens when I have too many thoughts coming in my head and I can't sit still long enough? All those really good questions and really natural questions. But about the writing, people are just really critical about themselves. They're immediately putting up walls of, I'm not a writer, I'm not creative, I can't write, I can't do this. And it's this act of blooming writing has nothing to do with anything except for the time with you and yourself. No one ever has to see anything you write. And anything you write doesn't have to mean anything. It could just be purging your system in your brain from the 10,000 thoughts you're having today and getting it down on the paper. The mere act of getting it down on the paper purges it, releases it, lets it go. Plus, we're going through such an incredibly unprecedented event here. Taking note of what your feelings and emotions are. I mean, someday you may want to reflect on this time, and you may want to share it with grandchildren, or leave it for posterity. Leave your thoughts in a journal where someday you'd like to go back and reflect on them or share them with the world. So with that, I want to make a recommendation of how might you write. If you're not comfortable just starting out and writing stream of consciousness, every single word that comes into your mind, then here's a suggestion. So here's one of my journals. Write down your intentions. How are you utilizing this time? How are you looking for the gifts? What actions and things do you want to have materialize for you, to manifest for you? And here are examples here are some of the intentions I've written down. To allow the abundance of the universe to flow to and through me. To receive ultimate guidance and support from those around me for the benefit of myself and all others. To allow ease and appreciation to permeate my cells, my heart, and my mind. I invite ease into every area of my life. To realize the wealth of my health, the wealth of my wallet, life with grace and elegance and contentment. To inspire through being, to be a model for my daughter and for others. So write down your intentions. What are your prayers for yourself, for your own blooming, for your own becoming? And another tool is moving your body. Are you out walking? Are you taking the dog for a walk? Our fur babies are loving it right now. They're absolutely loving this time, right? To have us around all the time like this. Imagine life for the next day and through Easter from your fur baby's perspective. They just think this is grand, absolutely grand, magical, miraculous. Think about your young children, to have you around, have you all together all the time. Such a blessing. Such a blessing. So with that, an act of kindness and generosity is the final tool. You feel so good when you give. It's It just is, it flows happiness through and to you. Through you to others and back to you from others. So giving and generosity and an act of kindness. Be really gentle and kind to yourself, first and foremost. This is what my daughter and I are doing today. She suggested it, and I said, I think that's a great idea. And Christina will be doing ours with white eggs. A friend of mine, Christina, tried it. Christina Cole posted on her timeline yesterday that she, don't try it with organic brown eggs because it doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, take a brown canvas and what's it going to look like versus a white canvas, right? So we're doing this. So what would the child in you feel like right now about this lockdown? I mean, to have mom and dad around all the time, to play games, it might be hard for them not to see their friends, and it certainly might be an adjustment for those doing online schoolwork. There's no doubt about that. I've experienced it with my daughter with the college classes. Not very happy. Yesterday was a rough day for that. But on the social aspect of it, and the familial and the connection that has potential to take your family to a whole new level right now in terms of communication and love. And I posed the question maybe yesterday or the day before, I don't recall. What if beyond the 401ks and our banking accounts and all of that, what if the greatest investment we could be making right now is in love? What if really in the final analysis, that's the only investment that really ultimately matters? So find the child in you. Do something fun and spontaneous. Seriously, sit for a minute in your meditation today and talk to the 6 or 7-year-old that's inside of you and say, what would you like to do today? Joey, what would you like to do? And you might be surprised. Take out the paints or the sidewalk chalks or the Easter egg coloring, you can do, trying to think, but I'm pretty sure you can do some of this. You can do it with regular food dye if you have that in the cupboard, if you don't want to go to the store, and crayons because they have wax in them. I think there are different aspects that you could probably do, or you just use markers. You could do that too. You don't have to do the traditional dye kits. But just normal food coloring and water, and dip the eggs, and then use markers once the color's dry. There's lots of ways to get creative. Do your vision board today. If you're not sure, look back in these videos, and there's a whole session on vision boarding. Do your own personal vision board. Use the intentions that you've written in your journal to express them visually on your board. We are all going to get through this. And for those of us who do believe in something bigger than us and more powerful than us, then you also have to trust in this. You have to trust that bigger power understands what it's doing. And you have to trust that all is well. That ends well. All is well, that if loved ones are moving on, if friends and family are making different decisions for themselves that you might not agree with, it's okay. That's their story. What's your story? Tend to your own garden. Play. Have fun. Use these tools for blooming. Deep breaths. Make time for yourself in quiet time. Write in your journal. It's the simple things right now. It's not the do and all the big actions and the yang power. It's not that. It's yin. It's be at ease with the water within you. Create easy flow, quietness, elegance, comfort, satisfaction. The secret is that none of those feelings that you're seeking, that you're so longing for, have ever been outside of you. Has nothing to do with the economy, has nothing to do with your work, has nothing to do with health and well-being and the hospital system and your bills. It has everything to do with how you frame it for yourself from within. And these 5 tools, here is my promise, these 5 tools that we've been going over and will continue to go over for the next few more days, if you could only adapt 1 or 2 of them, you don't have to, be perfect and try to use them all. If you adopt only 1, do the meditation, because the meditation makes all the other tools easier. So I'm wishing you much love. I'm encouraging you to review some of these videos and take the time for yourself to play and to revel in the simple pleasures and the tiny treasures that exist all around us, right here, right now, in our own haven, in our own little space. That, yes, granted, we might be sharing with 4 or 5 other people 24/7 right now that we're not used to doing. But boy, if you can bloom, if you can find a way to be that little seed that pops through the cracks in the pavers, if you can do that right now in the midst of all of this, imagine cultivating that and what you can do and be and have coming out of this. Be well. I'll see you tomorrow. Much love. Enjoy your Saturday. And tomorrow's Easter. So there's no better time than to look to those things you appreciate, honor those things, tell those around you how much you love and appreciate them, show an act of kindness, write in your journal, meditate, move your body, and be. Just be. Bye for now.